We're back in the Giggy kitchen today. We are still testing mixers, and today we're going to do a sandwich bread.
Yeah, I feel like this is the most anticipated. Everyone says, but what do I need for bread? Which one is the best for bread? And
I'm so excited.
Yeah, about to find out.
It's a whole wheat sandwich loaf, and to be totally transparent, we didn't have enough whole wheat flour for the recipe 4 times. So we're gonna do half whole wheat and half bread flour and see how it works out. But it is a big recipe. There are 14 cups of flour in every batch.
4 loaves?
Yeah, it makes 4 loaves. It's huge. So we're really anxious to get started and see how the mixers hold up, see what's going to be strongest against trying to knead that dough, and also which bowls the batter is going to fit in the best.
Volume, capacity. Is it going to have enough room to move around and knead like it needs to?
Yes, this is a good day. We've been anticipating it for a while, so we're excited to get started.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Okay, so at this point, we are gonna go on off of KitchenAid's guidelines. We actually called and talked to them, and the gal on the phone let us know that in order to keep up and maintain the KitchenAid warranty, they recommend that when using it for bread, you do not mix for longer than 4 minutes and no higher than level 2. Is this on stir or 2?
I just increased it to 2 because on stir it started to struggle. It's getting really thick now. All of the flour has been mixed in.
So we're just gonna watch it closely, stop around that 4-minute mark, and we'll see. We may have to knead by hand a little bit.
It looks really sticky to knead by hand though. Like it's still pretty wet.
Messy. Yeah.
And the batter has collected all around the top of the dough.
So 14 cups of flour might have been a little much.
It's totally
climbing up the mixer.
Oh my gosh. It's definitely coming together now though. We're gonna have to, this is gonna be so fun. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was not mixed.
There's a lot of flour down here from the bottom of the bowl that didn't get incorporated quite as well. But there is so much dough that had we continued, I mean, it still wouldn't have picked that up. Yeah, it's pretty easy to handle actually. I think that's a good amount. I don't have a bench scraper, so I'm just gonna divide it.
It's definitely together.
Yeah,
like
it's doing really well. I thought that for sure it was gonna be sticking to my hands,
Mm-hmm.
but just a little flour, a lot of flour on the surface is good.
Yeah, it was a very wet dough.
It is very wet, and it's still like the parts that are not floury, I can feel that they're sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna divide this dough into 4. We've got our pans here. They've been sprayed.
Dense.
We're ready.
On to test number 2. Obviously, 4 loaves of bread was a little too much for the 5-quart mixer. So we're moving on to the 6-quart here. We'll see.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. The bowl is bigger. I think that this mixer can handle it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And I think the shape of the bowl is gonna help a lot too.
For sure.
Because the other one's kind of tall and narrow, where this is a wider bowl.
Yeah, and I think it is a little deeper, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
It's a little bigger all around.
It's bigger all around. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Throwing a little dough. I mean, flour.
Yeah, this bowl size is much better.
Obviously with the 5-quart KitchenAid, the batter was a little too much for that mixer. The 6-quart worked pretty well, but the dough still got...
It did start to climb.
Yeah, it started to climb over the hook. So we're excited to see how the Nutrimill and the Bosch do, because these are like, they have a reputation for doing great with bread.
It seems like just as
Wet.
thick it was, as thick as it was in the KitchenAid, but more wet. Yeah, like I don't know how this is gonna be when we dump it out on the counter. It is thick and it did incorporate really well. It looks well blended to me. This flour came from the lid when Whitney pulled it off. So it looks like everything's been mixed really well. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm impressed with how this one piece dough hook worked, because you've got this one that kind of runs along the edge, this hook that's kind of in the middle, and then the bowl scraper built into it.
I love that it has that scraper.
It did mix really well.
Yeah.
We'll see how it looks once we dump it out.
Yeah.
I'm scraping the bottom of the bowl and everything looks like it's really well incorporated. There's no like dry bits of flour, but it's really hard to get the dough out of this bowl, to get it away from this column especially. So I don't know if it's meant to just, if I just dump it out, it's pretty sticky. I'm just creating a bigger mess. It's so heavy though, I can't hold it up, maybe.
It's time to test the Bosch. Like I feel
Yes.
like this is what everyone has been waiting
This
for.
is the big daddy.
This
This is
is-
what everyone says. You know, this
Yes.
is gonna make the best bread.
This is the question. Like, do I really need a Bosch if
Yeah.
I make a lot of bread?
Mhm.
And so we're gonna find out.
Yep.
So same recipe, 4 loaves. We're gonna walk you through the process, and then yeah, of course we'll compare after they're baked.
Yeah.
Sun is waiting for the moon, like I wait all day for you. When I see
I'm impressed. But it's mixing this dough like a champ.
this is the best part, this is the best part. Oh, when you do my heart. This is the best part.
We're here with our bread. Dun-dun. We're all done. It has taken all day, so we're really excited to cut into this.
16 loaves of bread later.
16 loaves. We don't know what we're going to do with all of them yet.
We'll have some happy employees take them home, hopefully.
Yeah. The whole building smells amazing.
Yes. They're all look pretty similar.
They baked really consistent. They rose really consistent. Nothing is really like obviously taller or looks like it would be a different texture on the inside. They all turned out great.
Yeah. So this is the 5-quart.
Yes. This is the one where the dough rose up and got all over the place.
All right.
Ready? Oh, beautiful.
That looks great.
It's a good crumb. It looks like sandwich bread.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like a wheat bread.
It does. Like
feels
it's definitely
but-
dense,
but not
but
undercooked.
soft.
That's
Uh-huh.
good.
All right, this is the 6-quart KitchenAid.
Yeah, it looks the same.
It looks about the same, pretty
The
consistent.
crumb is pretty even, yeah. It looks good.
Nutrimill.
We had to go to great lengths to make sure these were all organized and we could keep straight which one was which because they look so much alike. Oh,
Huh. This one has maybe a few more air pockets. This is the
Yeah.
Nutrimill. This is the 6-quart.
it almost looks to me like it could have used a little more baking time. See how it's darker in the middle? Has like a dark stripe. Probably can't see that on the camera, but it's like a dark stripe in the middle. Feels just a little bit gummy maybe.
Which is interesting.
It's still a tiny bit warm, but it's cooled enough.
Yeah, it's been out of the oven for probably an hour. Interesting. This is the Bosch loaf. Oh, I feel like it had a little more of a crust. Yeah. It just took a little more for that initial cut.
Oh. The crumb is different. It's like a bigger crumb.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's like not, it is a little more holy, but it looks bigger.
Yeah.
They all did great.
They all did great. I think that
They
is
did
the big
awesome.
thing. We were shocked. We did not think that the 5-quart KitchenAid would be able to
No.
even.
So much
Handle
flour.
that.
We didn't think that it would even fit. And it did, I mean,
It made a
took
mess.
It took a lot to clean.
Yes.
I won't lie. It was hard to clean. But so is the Nutrimill and the Bosch, just the bowl in general and the attachment. So I feel like the same labor went into cleaning every mixer.
Yeah.
You know, none of that was really different. And the only one the only mixer we noticed that struggled at all was the Nutrimill.
And it was just at the very end
Mhm.
of the mixing where we could kind of smell the belt getting worn, a
Mhm.
little bit of rubber. But it didn't affect the performance, and it had enough torque, it had
Yeah.
enough strength to knead the bread.
Now the recipe did say it wanted us to mix for 10 minutes.
Yes.
And had we done that with the KitchenAid probably would have overheated.
Yes, we did follow the KitchenAid guidelines, which were no more than 4 minutes, no more than a level 2. So we kind of went between stir and level 2
Mhm.
as we were mixing these ingredients. And then according to the Bosch website, it was 5 to 8 minutes.
Yep.
Did not exceed 5 to 8 minutes.
And we did about 5.
Uh-huh.
The texture was about the same as the KitchenAid. It was a little more wet, it seemed, but we think the ingredients were better incorporated.
Yes. And like based off the recipe we used, it was just kind of mix until it pulls away from the side of the bowl.
Yep.
And then we had to kind of do that final incorporation by hand, but that was consistent with each mixer.
Yeah.
So.
The 2 KitchenAids were a little easier to form the loaves.
Mhm.
The Nutrimill and the Bosch were a very, very soft dough, so it was a little more difficult to form the loaves. But once they got in the pan, I mean, they rose
It was
just
great.
the same.
Yeah.
They cooked just the same. It was
Yeah.
all really good.
So we have 5-quart. Here's a KitchenAid versus Bosch.
You can see the
And-
difference in the crumb. The crumb is really
Bosch,
tight with the KitchenAid.
So there is a slight difference. This is a little lighter,
It
a
feels
little
lighter.
airier. Yeah, comparing the two.
Interesting.
But
They all
honestly,
look
they're
good
all
though.
great. Like we would be thrilled with
Yes,
any
I
of
would be
these.
happy with any of them.
And so honestly, I'm shocked at how well everything performed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure there would be this did not work.
Same here.
This was
I thought
fantastic.
something, I thought that the crumb would be the most telling, and they're so consistent.
Yeah.
Everything looks really good.
Yeah.